Floyd's Mayhem Garage here. Well, I suppose it's time to start tearing this truck apart. It's getting late today, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done today, but this will definitely follow into tomorrow. And of course, you know, as big of a project as this is, this whole truck, you know, got quite a bit done today. But it's going to be quite a bit of work. So there's going to be several videos long building this truck, which is fine. It's going to be like the Daytona or the Crew Cab or I don't know, General Mayhem, any of my other vehicles, you know, or projects, you know, just never ending, just making videos. So I'll try to keep these ones organized, see how good I do. Doing starts and stops and beginnings, but yeah, I think I can get a little bit of work done on this before it gets too dark here. So I'll see what I can make happen. Out here getting some reference pictures or video as well. You know, got some pictures and some kind of visuals, get an idea of kind of where center line of the front wheel. You know, my measurements out on the frame there made this look like this was really close to the tire, but that's how it's supposed to be. So coming out pretty cool. So it's kind of neat to look at this. Look at the cross member, where this one sits, where this sits. This one goes up and around the transmission. Mine comes back and the transmission sits back, so my stick comes out about here, so I am gonna have to cut up the floor. But yeah, I guess now let's go take a look at what I got. Voila! I've got cab mounts. Kind of. But yeah, same ratio. Center line of wheel over here. Front cab mount. It's pretty close to the way it's supposed to be. This one also sits much lower in reference to center line of the wheel, you know, actual hub center, not just center line. But that's because this cab's going to sit so much lower than the other truck. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. My cross member I built for the rear and one for the front, up and around the transmission. because we got height-wise, it was close. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Now it's time to measure a whole bunch of stuff, and I gotta get the I gotta remember to do this too, clean up the frames, kind of where I'm gonna weld, get everything measured, marked out, get everything kind of square, and then burn it in. And I think I'm gonna not gonna completely weld it in. I gotta weld these still. I think I want to clean these up, get rid of some of these square corners before I get too far along here, and then basically tack it to the frame. And I'm gonna have to do pretty good tacks. I'll end up doing just basically short sections of weld, because I'd like to test fit the cab on this, make sure I'm going in the right direction, you know, or got the right stuff going here. And then I'll pull the cab back off and actually finish welding this up. So yeah, this is looking good though. Of course, we were nice and windy today, so got a pretty good breeze going on here. But yeah, I wanted to get the cab mounted last night, make sure everything lines up, and it's pretty good. My heights might be a little off. Looks like it might sit a little low in the rear than it does the front. And I basically based all my measurements off of frame, not actual ground. And so it looks like there's a slight difference between this frame and how kind of level it sits versus the other C500 frame. So the rear does sit a little bit lower, which is fine. That's what shims are for. So I can shim it up to where it needs to sit. And then yeah, got the fender just sitting on here just to get a kind of look at it. Sure, it doesn't look that good because the shadow with the sun's on the wrong side here, but yeah, I'm happy with how it sits. I thought when I first put this on, like, man, this thing's quite a bit wider than the actual wheels and tires on this. But if you notice, we're inside the fender here, where the old tire sat, where it pretty much sandblasted the inner fender from rocks and stuff. These sit almost where those ones did. So it might be, an inch in from what the old ones were, which is 2 inches overall, which isn't bad at all. So I'm actually quite happy with how this looks. And yeah, I think what I need to do now is, hoping it wouldn't be windy today, so I need to pull the cab back off now that I know everything fits, and I need to burn the rest of the mounts back in. And I think these front ones, because the frame starts to lean in, so the front side's got a pretty good gap in it. So I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to get that welded. So I think the front one, I'm going to end up making another brace that goes down to the frame and triangulate it. But I'm happy with the rear one. The rear one I can weld up both sides cleanly. So that'll look pretty good. And yeah, get the cab back off, get those welded up. I might, and yeah, with the wind out here, I was hoping it wouldn't be windy, so I can weld out here. But that means I might have to move this into the garage so I can weld without the interference of wind. Because if any of you know, with MIG, it blows that gas away and you get a nice nasty porous weld. So yeah, I think that's the plan. Of course, like I said, I just hung the fender. This is look at this thing. This looks so ridiculous. It's so cool and I love it. But yeah, the steps ended up, we're right at 7.5 inches off the ground right now. So this thing's awesome. This is a good height. So, my eye level is right here. So, good height on everything. This cab is still right to the top. We're 7 inches, I'm not 7 feet off the ground, but I'm happy with it. It's coming out good. And I think with my swept line as well, I ended up polishing up that original paint, and I just rubbed an area here and got a little bit of a shine back to it. So I think at some point here as well, I'm going to try to polish this paint back up. I think I can get this thing to shine, and it should have that. If it shines up the way I'm thinking it's going to, should have a pretty good look to it. It'll look similar to my swept line, the nice shiny paint with the patinaed areas. Yeah, I'm excited. This thing's turning out good. But more to go. Got ahead of myself and forgot to film that. That's all right. You saw the test fit. This, you know, after painting the frame, this went right on. So, frame's still a little tacky, but I was not going for perfection on this frame. I know this is probably pretty dark. You probably can't see much here. But, yeah, this frame looks pretty good, actually. This is a industrial paint that I bought at work. It's like a tractor paint, basically. Really heavy duty. It's got good coverage over poor surface, basically, rust and stuff. Covers nicely over it. Supposed to be pretty durable. You can run it catalyzed or non-catalyzed. So I chose catalyzed because I wanted it to be a little bit harder of a surface. And it tends to retain its glossiness a little bit longer that way. But yeah, it turned out nice. Like I said, covered it really nice too. And for a frame, it's like the perfect paint. You know, it's almost like the Pour 15 almost. But yeah, I'll have to do the rest of the frame. I only prepped to there forward. And actually, I was originally only going to prep underneath the cab, and I just kept going. Did this flat section of frame, so I have to pull the wheels off the rear and prep the back here at a later date, because at some point I got to put tires on this, and when I put tires on it, that'll be probably a couple day project as well, because I'll pull these off, dismount the tires, prep the wheels, paint the wheels, let the wheels dry, then put my new tires on, then put them back on. So, because I want to do, instead of just doing kind of a poor job, kind of like what I just did on the frame, I'd like to actually do a good job on the wheels, make them look good. At least better than just, you know, doing a pour or quick spray, whatever. But yeah, this thing looks awesome. This is ridiculous. So yeah, I'm sure there's more to come. I suppose next on the list, really, I need to, the cab looks like the rear sits a little bit lower than I'd like, based upon the steps. So I need to put some shims on the rear and basically get the cab sitting where I'm happy with it, get that bolted down, and then once that's tight and sitting where it is, I can start working on the front end and get the front end mounted. And then same thing, sort of same time or next, whatever, I need to work on the interior and build a dog house of some sort. And the biggie and I'm sure you probably can't see much of this. That's fine, we'll keep looking to the side of the truck. The biggies, I gotta figure out pedals and clutch and that stuff. That'll be interesting. So, like I said, I think my game plan here is I've still got the 91 cab, and it's got the pedal assembly and everything, and in the dash part that the pedals hang off of, I think I'm going to cut all of that out and try to graft it into this frame, or into this cab. I think that's going to be the easiest route. And it's looking like, height-wise, I'm going to have to extend my brake lines. I'm going to have to extend the clutch master cylinder, which is going to be interesting, because that's a plastic line. So I have to see what I can do there. And then steering column's going to be interesting. It'll have to be a couple of U-joints that I weld in line, or I was looking at spline shafts for weld in. I'll probably do a combination of both, and get it from the cab down to the steering box. And yeah, past that it's wiring, I guess. And once the front end's on, get the radiator and all that back together, and man, that's should be pretty straightforward, I think. That's exciting. So yeah, we'll see you in the next one.